Hello, I'm NovaSC. I'm back to playing games at last after about 10 weeks of not playing, so this is going to be a lot of fun. This is my favourite game of the day. Had a very productive session. I've done a lot better. I've done a lot better than I expected, considering the ill practice. This is against a Master League player already. Very happy about that. But I've been mostly playing against Diamond, so that's sort of how this level I've always been. So I don't feel like I've gotten worse or anything in the last few months, so that's really a positive. Smiley faces, thumbs up, etc. I'm gonna get on casting this. I am Nova in the top right. I'm against this master here, Zerg fellow. He's called Govich, I think. I would have thought that's maybe a clan thing. Not sure. Not 100% sure. But anyway, so it's a Protoss vs Zerg on Lerilak Crest, I think. Complained about quite a bit by Protoss players because of this sort of thing, which has been around forever. This map's been around for ages, I'm sure you know of it. Very large ramps, very difficult to wall off. I've tried Nexus bursting on this map, and you most always certainly will die, unless your opponent's gone for like very late pull, which is very uncommon nowadays. I've seen quite a lot of this, so he's gone for a very fast gas pull before third base. It's working just disgracefully well. I think the Master League. I think I played the Master League Zerg before this, and this sort of build beat me. I feel like it was the case, or maybe 2 or 3 games beforehand. I've definitely lost to this build today, so. And it was very one-sided, so. Of course, that wasn't the best game. I've obviously uploaded. Going on a bit of a tangent here, aren't I? I've obviously uploaded games of me losing. It's just when they're ridiculously one-sided. I mean, that's not of any interest to anyone really. So there we go. So here we go. So he's gonna. I think he's gonna start gas on 100, and I thought he'd take gas out. He'd take guys out of gas. No, he's continuing. This might be a mistake. I'm not 100% sure. I've gone gateway expands with adepts. There we go. And I'm starting to wall off, so one pylon at a time. I think another one's going down here. It's useful just to get the pylon set up. I lost my probe. I'm trying to sacrifice to see if he'd withdrawn drones from gas, but he clearly hasn't. Which suggests some sort of follow-up tech play, to be honest, which isn't a nice thing to see. So I'm a bit worried at the moment. As I was saying, before I got a bit sidetracked, setting these pylons up early on is very useful nowadays because we can photon overcharge on the pylons. Just getting more pylons than I need has been working out pretty well. Though obviously it delays everything else, so there's sort of a compromise between excessive pylons for defense and getting your units at some point in the game. So that's something to take into consideration. You pop the photon overcharge. That doesn't seem to pay off, obviously, because I only killed one Zergling, but it's just useful to keep the Zerglings at bay, at the very least, because you need to set up this wall somehow, and getting the overcharge on the pylon just while you're setting it up is very useful, because it becomes a whole lot easier if you've got a nice secure wall with multiple pylons here. So that's very useful. I'm gonna get around to walling this area off as well when I get there, but this is the main one to wall off because it's so large. You can sort of panic and wall this off with a few pylons, like I think maybe I'd say 4 or 5 pylons, but you can't do that with this, obviously. That's embarrassing. My adept was about to fill that gap, but it was just literally just walking there, so that's a shame. Bad timing. Gets 2 Zerglings in. Probably should send the adept to help, but I was thinking I was going to deal with this with my probes, but it's not working out because he's actually paying attention, which isn't nice. I'm losing probes straight away, which isn't nice. Now I'm ready to wall this off completely, so that's good. On the bright side, I'm taking a few losses, which isn't nice. 3, including the worker. Oh no! This has killed 3 probes. Is it going to kill another one? It better not do. There we go. That killed 3 probes, which is really unfortunate. He did sacrifice about 8 to 10 lings, I think, to do that, but yeah, I think it's definitely worth it, which is annoying for me. He's going for a roach tech. There we go. So that was why he kept gas in that extractor. So he's going straight for a roach run. Worry. 1 second. 1 second. I'm not going to restart. Sorry, but I forgot music. Let's put the music on. Apologies. Something did feel really off, and it was because there's music in the background like I'm used to. Anyway, it's going to be a roach ravager bust. So it's useful to do this, I guess, because it's forcing walls out of me, making all those Zerglings, and then you can use the ravagers to knock the walls down. I've got a good number of adepts to deal with those Ling counters, and I'm now going straight into Robo. I haven't really used any of these 5 gateways yet. These are just precautionary, basically. I don't have... Oh, there we go. This is looking really bad, actually. I wasn't expecting quite so many units so early on, which it's... Usually your opponent will get a third, and I didn't quite manage to scout the third, because I lost my scouting probe. So this has put me in a really bad situation. Unfortunately for him, he's fighting Ranger Photon Overcharge quite a bit. I've finished my Robo, now adding on an Immortal. Taking some heavy losses here. I'm fighting when I really should not be. I'm not sure what was going in through my brain here. Up to 14 losses overall now. At last, get up my warp in. The benefit of having all those gateways to wall off is I have a nice healthy warp in potential here. And luckily for me, Stalkers are going to outspeed, are much faster than the roaches and the ravagers here. And that allows me to clean them up with help of the overcharge. I felt like he fought within range of those overcharges way too much, and he could have done a lot more damage if he'd sorted that out. But either way, that's the names, unfortunately. He did kill a total of, I think that was 10 or 11 probes, because he'd already killed a few. 10, 11 probes he's already killed there with that push. So I'd say that paid off, but now it's just how he transitions. He does have to take into consideration that he is behind in tech now, because I'm now adding on my tier 3, and he's only now adding on his lair, so he needs to take advantage of this additional economy that you should have. Let's have a look at economy. No, sort of even. Interesting. So that didn't pay off as well as I'd have thought. He must have cut drones a lot for that. So now we're about even, interestingly enough, even though it looks horrendous for me. And in the game, I definitely thought I was slightly behind, at least. This is the third going in, so yeah, I'd normally expect this to be a lot earlier. Now the music just sounds too loud. What am I doing? No, must be fine. Sorry. But anyway, yes. So I'm in a bit of a nasty situation because I think I'm behind here when in fact I'm sort of even, and I really feel like I need to be producing units all the time now. I don't really feel safe expanding because I saw that huge amount of units, and it seems very likely that you could just do the same thing again. Because he's being, it feels like he's being very cheesy, and in fact he is, because he's not taken a third for a long time. So now I'm going to be wanting to produce a few units, at least one disruptor, because I need some splash damage. Having one disruptor is definitely a bit of a clutch, so not what I like to use. I'd rather get a Colossus, but it's I sort of feel so far behind, or not too far behind. I sort of feel slightly behind, so I feel like I need some sort of clutch to get me back in the game, so that's why I'm going for the disruptor instead of a Colossus early on. He's going for the lurkers, so that's a good choice. If you can deny this third and get lurkers burrowed, then it makes it almost impossible for me to catch up, because in those sort of situations, 3-base lurker right up in my face. Obviously a pause just happened there. 3-base lurker right up in my face. I don't really have much production off 2 bases, which I need not quite enough to deal with the lurkers in that situation, so that was a really good push to do. I've lost to it quite a few times, but I really feel like what I'm getting here, so I'm getting the Immortals, I'm getting Stalkers, I'm getting Disruptors, they should be fine, as long as I handle it well, and I don't get the lurkers get really close to my bases. So I get oversaturated, and I'm getting my Blink, so obviously that's almost a must in Protoss vs Zerg at this point, because he's getting all these units, which Stalker's pretty useful against. It's also just vital having Blink, just because Muta switches, no matter what composition you see your opponent making, Muta switches are always a possibility. You have to worry about that. So having the flexibility of Stalker is very useful. Getting Thermal Lance. Again, as I was saying, I felt like I could die any minute. I didn't go for Warp Prism. In fact, I'm going straight for a second Robo and making units out of both. I got the second Robo because I did need a chance to make observers, because I need to see outside my bases, because if an army just appears at my front door and I'm over here, then I'm going to lose my wall before I get time to walk up, so I need some sort of warning, which is why I have those observers out there. Getting some map presence of those as well. I have 2. That's all I really need. I think I'm expecting attacks to come from this sort of angle because he's expanded down here. I'm pretty sure I know about that. No, I don't. Okay. Well, it was the right decision either way, because I'm expecting attacks to come from this sort of angle because he's expanded down here and he wants to attack in a way which protects that base. Now he's moving in. He sees that I have disruptors, and probably not wise to move in to such a choke, but he's going to try and attack up here, see if he takes me off guard. Might not work. I have quite a few Colossus, I have this nice wall set up, I have 2 disruptors down here. I've seen that he's on at least 3 bases. I don't think I've seen that other third. After seeing this base, I must be feeling in a really nice situation. I feel like I must be feeling really good. Wait a minute. Yes, I don't see that he's got that base down here. So I'm feeling really good about myself now. Feeling unjustly overconfident here. Is that a bit redundant saying unjustly? Let's just say I'm feeling overconfident because I think he's in a worse situation than he actually is. But he does have quite a healthy economy after all. But not so healthy considering this third here is fully saturated. He's not actually that far ahead. You'd expect the Zerg to be slightly ahead in this situation. If you look at units, I'm actually ahead in workers, which is sort of silly. That was a really bad trade. Why did I attack with probes? That was bad. That must have opened that up a little bit. Yeah, evened it up a little bit, and he's probably seen making some more drones as we're going along. He denied my forge, so I went ahead and got 3 just in case. He tried to do it again. I'm not actually that high on units, am I? On upgrades. I only got +1 compared to his 1-1, so actually not too far behind, to be fair. But now he's working on 2-2, so yeah, I do need to start ramping up my upgrade production here. Got my helpful observer, checking the expansions. I must know that he's got that base down there. I still don't know, which is a shame, but I think I'm sort of assuming at this point, because if he doesn't have that base, I've pretty much won. So that's why I'm attacking down here, so I'm pretty much assuming that he has that base. Using disruptors where I can. Yeah, shooting off preemptive disruptor blasts, or they purification overs or something, aren't they? Purification overs, yeah. It's a really good idea just so that your opponent just doesn't run in and surround you and kill your army. I think if he surrounded me, the army he has here, that army surrounding my army would definitely win, so be very careful with my army positioning. Guessing lots of observers, yeah. Got a couple. What have I got here? Have I got another one? Yeah, I've got enough other observers. Got 3 observers on the map now. That's the minimum you'd expect, really. Got 2 to help position my army here. And he's moving on in. He's got observers, overseers, so I've got to be careful with observers, I don't want those snipes. Moving in with the, oh, never mind. And these are disgusting disruptor shots. He mismicroed that Viper, which probably could have done quite a bit of damage here, but no, this is not a good fight for him. Everything's going my way, all my spells are working perfectly here. There were 2 very nice disruptor shots there. Purification overs. Colossus did quite a bit of work. Linkstalker's microing back, but still, because he had more economy than I was really expecting, he could overpower my army. Taking that 4th was probably a bit ambitious, so he's going to be able to easily cancel that. And in fact, if he pushed further into my base, probably could have done a bit more damage. But very good choice by him. I feel like ensuring that damage is very good. And now I've gone for a DT counterattack, Zealots and DTs. And that's gone. That's gone. So it's 3 base to 3 base, and that's exactly what I needed. I just warped those in up here, I think. No proxy pylon or anything, just walk those across the map. Exploiting his lack of map vision here, so that's really good. I've just split my army up, split my ZTs up, getting even more kills. Killed the base. 3, 4, 5, lots of kills, really nice. Gonna kill a queen here, I think. Probably will kill a queen. Lots of drones. Another DT up here, waiting to do more damage, and I'm settling into this 4th. This is giving me a really good distraction. But again, my scouting isn't top notch here. I've missed the base, and that's probably going to help him out a lot in this game. Unless I scout it early on, which I don't seem to be doing. My only observers are checking his expansions here, checking for the end of the creep, which is a nice thing to do. There we go. Moving on in there. How many kill workers have I killed so far? 8. I think that's pretty much all down to those DTs. So those DTs killed 8 workers, and an expansion there. So that was a nice trade. Obviously DTs are expensive, but it's definitely worth denying his bases. They need a micro here. He's got so many units. Another ridiculous disruptor. Dealing 12 units there. He just has so many more units to me, so this is a miracle that I'm holding off here. Walking a few disruptors into his army there, which is unfortunate. Got a few useless corruptors left over. Probably could be using those to kill buildings, to be fair, but never mind. Obviously that's quite a bit of APM to do all that. And disruptor's really paying off here. He did deny my base, which is a good choice because now I'm not ahead in bases, but now I'm definitely ahead in army, and I have a very mobile, useful army here. Just going to kill off the rest of his corruptors, though not the most vital part of his army, so I'm pretty happy about that. DC from before, come back in again, and he hasn't got overseers. He should leave an overseer at home. Obviously that's easy to forget in the heat of the moment. 2 robos, really putting in their work. I've just been mostly a robo-orientated army here. Have I got extra tech? I do have a Templar Archive, so I could switch here. More upgrades coming in, not 3 at a time, obviously, but 2 at a time. So that's still worked out pretty good. 3-1-1 compared to 2-2. Sorry, 2-1-1 compared to 2-2. So we're sort of even here. A nice disruptor shot again. Nice purification nova. Those. Okay. That was an interesting choice to bring in, sacrifice the High Templar to use feedback there, but I mean it has helped me defend my stalkers, keep that mortal alive, regroup my army. I do like diverting attention from the army to kill off overseers where I can, because then that does give you options to warp in a wave of DTs and clean up. That's definitely a lifesaver on occasions. I definitely could be getting a warp prism here, though I am very low on minerals, so that's probably why I'm not doing that. It's been a very close game. Both players' money has been really low this whole game. Very scrappy, lots of aggression, and yeah, very aggressive opponent. Really getting in my face here. Really trying to repeatedly deny this 4th base, which is a really good choice, because if he does that, I'm on 3 bases. These ones are mining out. Even my 3rd's mining out now. If he keeps denying this base, he's got 5 bases, 3 of which have a pretty good amount of minerals on them. So that's gonna easily keep him in the game here. But maybe being a bit over aggressive now because he doesn't have any high tier units. He's just got hydras, and they're dying really fast to disruptors here. And that was probably a bit of an overcommittal. Probably wanted to wait for that broodlord. Single broodlord, probably not going to be too effective. Broodlord's definitely better in higher numbers, because with a single broodlord I can easily quite blink underneath that and kill it. And he's definitely overcommitting here. He needs to be splitting his units up more. Oh, that's not really good enough, is it? Killing off my Archons though, that's definitely a good thing. Almost killed off the disruptor as well. Left with only 7 life remaining on that guy. And yeah, disruptor, stalker, immortal, definitely better than any composition involving broodlords at this point. More DTs coming in, just walking them from my natural to his base. That's all I really need to do. I've got a disruptor here. Moving in on this 4th base, which actually taken 3rd, but you know what I mean. And just with a disruptor, it's just so hard for him to approach my army, and I can afford to do these sort of pushes. Even though I was fairly sure he had a bigger army than me there, I was fairly confident he wasn't going to engage very well, so I was happy doing that. And disruptor's paying off so much here. I haven't actually made a Colossus for a while. This is my first Colossus in a little while. Adding that on because I don't see any corruptors anymore, so I'm fairly confident now. I feel like I've pretty much won at this point, but unfortunately for me, he does have this base. Only 10 on minerals though, so that's not paying off for him too well. But that's just a scrappy fight here. I'm being very cautious not to engage too much, because I can imagine a big wave of units coming out, and Ultra's Zerglings, like he is making, can overrun the army I have here if he focuses down the Immortals well enough, and Stalkers are pretty goddamn awful against both Lings and Ultras if they get us around, so gotta be very careful here. Lots more Lings coming on in, so we can possibly get that surround, so I'm going to return home. 4th base. It's keeping me in the game. If I submit this 5th if I protect this 5th base here, that's gonna easily win me the game. Even if I don't scout this, which I have at last seen this base. I think I saw some transferring drones here. Send 3 DTs. He has no overseers, no units over there. There's no way for him to protect that area, so that's gonna go down. Even more units from the left-hand side. Gonna shut down some bases, and he's forced into making the only possible decision he can make, which is to go for a counter-attack, but he just doesn't have enough units. I have cannons, I have a disruptor there, I even have storm to make matters worse. He's just running out of units, and this must be the climax of the game here. More zealots just streaming on in, and that's the end of the game. Unfortunately no GG. I feel like that was a pretty damn good game, especially after that opening where I seemed like I was about to lose. He did a lot of good damage there, lots of roaches. ravagers, maybe a bit of mismicro. Could have handled that push at the beginning earlier and done a lot more damage, put me in a very bad situation for the mid game, but we ended up being quite even, and yeah, we played out very nicely. It's good counter attacks from both players, but yeah, you can see the end of that game, and it was a very odd one at that. Expansions in very interesting orders, lots of denying of the bases. So I hope you enjoyed that. I did. That's why I brought it to you. I'll see you later. Hopefully, I'll bring you lots more of these as I play more games in the next couple weeks. Goodbye.